today's podcast for business challenges. Today we have a nonprofit that calls Climb for Cancer. And I'm so honored to have with me today Ron Farb, the founder of this organization.
Yes.
Welcome to my podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Danny.
Absolutely. First, let's start a little bit about yourself before we get into the Climb for Cancer.
Sure.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Sure. I came from a lower middle class home, and because of it, I dreamed and I set goals to make those dreams come true. And one of the dreams was climbing mountains, which I've done around the world. And it led me to this life of trying to help people with cancer.
So how did Climb for Cancer start?
So we have to go back about 30 years.
Okay.
I had two friends, Dorothy and Hamilton Jordan. Hamilton was President Carter's chief of staff.
Okay.
And he and Dorothy started a camp for children with cancer called Camp Sunshine up in Georgia. And they invited me to come up and spend a week with the children up there. And I went up with my best friend, and we had a cabin of 7 to 9-year-old cancer boys. And it changed my life so profoundly and forever. At the same time, my sister was diagnosed with cancer. And so every year I would go up there and spend a week with the children. And I would try to find ways. I'd write a personal check as well and tried to find ways to raise money. So through my hobby of climbing, I set a goal to climb the 7 summits. I had climbed the highest mountain in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro, and I decided I would try a second one, Aconcagua, down in Argentina, the highest mountain in South America. And my son is a graphic designer, so he made up a brochure. I sent it to family and friends, and lo and behold, I raised a lot of money, which I gave to the American Cancer Society in Jacksonville.
Okay.
The next year, I climbed the highest mountain in North America, Denali, up in Alaska, and which is a world-class climb, and raised $25,000, which I gave to American Cancer as well. And thank God for what American Cancer Society does, but Diane and I wanted more control over where the money was going to go and how it was going to be used. So we got our 501c3 or nonprofit status, and the rest is history. And we've raised about $2.5 million.
That's very impressive. We really appreciate what you're doing. What's the mission of Climb for Cancer?
Well, the mission basically is to ease the pain and suffering of cancer. You know, when we first started, Doreen, our tagline was conquering cancer together. But Diane and I realized that we were going to be a small foundation in a small town, and we were probably not going to raise enough money to find a cure for cancer. So we're not a research center foundation. We try to focus on underserved needs.
Okay.
So that's our mission, basically, is looking for those underserved needs that we can have direct and immediate impact to the families.
How do you raise money other than climbing?
Sure. Well, it started with climbing, first with my climbing, and then I started taking groups up Mount Kilimanjaro, and we had teams that would raise as much as $185,000. And I've taken 97 people up Kilimanjaro, and I've done it 7 times. But I've reached an age where the climbing is so much more difficult. And I can climb the small mountains, but the big ones, I think, are in the past now. But we do local events as well. We do a run here in town called the Hogtown 5K Beer Run.
Okay.
And we get about 500 runners. And we raise about $40,000 from that. And we are fortunate that we have other events planned now that the pandemic is over. The one that I'm very excited about is an event right here at Spurrier's in Visors on the 6th of April.
Yeah.
And we hope we get a big crowd out there that night. Another event that we're going to be doing on September the 6th is with a friend of ours. Her name is Barbara Padilla. She's a singer. She's originally from Guadalajara, Mexico.
Okay.
And Barbara went to the University of Houston to get her master's in music. And while there, she was diagnosed with cancer, with Hodgkin's. Because of the radiation to her neck, they told her she would probably never talk again. She certainly would never sing again. Well, she showed everybody that they were wrong, and she became the runner-up on America's Got Talent. And she's come here 3 times and coming back for a 4th time to perform for us at the Santa Fe College Fine Arts Hall. And we hope to fill the venue. I hope that you'll make it that night.
I sure will. And this is on September
15th.
15th.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to the 5K, the run. Do you have a date for this year?
It'll be in October, but we
Okay.
don't have a date set yet. We will probably in the next week or so formulate that.
I can run 5K. I don't
Oh,
know about
good.
climbing yet.
Oh, good. And you get a beer at the end of the run, too.
Here you go. It's a good motivation to run, to get to the end.
That's right.
So with all these fundraisers and events that you're doing, you raise that money. Do you want to just let us know or tell the audience a little bit, where does this money go to?
Yes, of course. So as I said, we're not a research center foundation. We do give some small seed grants for research. But we, as I say, try to have immediate impact to the families. One of the things that I think resonates most with our donors, we have a program named after my sister, who I lost to cancer, called Harriet's Helping Hand, which provides gas cards, food vouchers, lodging, and now even Uber to families. Because if they can't afford to get to treatment, what good are the novel drug therapies? We recently attended a symposium that Dr. Alice Roten-Vlasic had here at Shands for her onco-fertility program that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for us. And this program gives young people who are going to be facing the deleterious effects of chemotherapy and radiation to their reproductive organs an opportunity to preserve sperm and eggs so that they'll be able to have children. And we do things like provide toys for the children, Xbox and PlayStations for adolescents that have life-threatening illness and can't get out of their rooms. And they can play with kids in the next room or across the world. We bought exercise bikes for bone marrow transplant units so that people after transplantation can get up and rebuild the red blood cells. So these are the kind of things that we do. We have a program at the Butterfly Rainforest called the Butterfly Connection, which is such a wonderful place of repose. We pay for all cancer families to visit the rainforest at no charge. And so this is the kind of thing that Climb for Cancer focuses on. That's
awesome. So I was reading a little bit online about Climb for Cancer and all the events you do. There is one is coming. I don't know too much about it, so I'm just waiting to hear from you. The Gator Mountain Challenge?
Well, actually, we just did it 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yes. So there's a student organization that that actually partners with us. It's Alpha Epsilon Delta, which is the Pre-Health Honor Society.
Okay.
And they have about 260 members, I believe, something like that. And I designed this event. There were 4-person teams that competed going up and down the stairs in the stadium. And I projected to raise about $4,000, and the kids raised over $12,000 for us.
That's very impressive.
And we had a wonderful time. It was hot that day, and I think they slept well that night.
Do you do that every single year?
Well, this was an inaugural event, and we hope to do it every year, and we hope to grow the event not only for AED, but for other students at the university and maybe even community members as well. We could get high schools involved and what have you. The only thing, I was scared to death the whole day that somebody was going to have an accident. We had paramedics out there, but still, it was frightening because some of them went up and down like gazelles.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. You want to talk a little bit more about climbing to Visors on April 6th?
Yes.
What's happening that night?
So it's part of the grand opening ceremonies here at Visors, and we were honored to be the charity selected. They're rolling out a new menu, and everything, all the food proceeds will go to the Climb for Cancer Foundation. The beverages are not included in that, but we've put the word out not only to our donor database, but to the Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary clubs here in town, and we hope to have a big crowd there. I think it'll be festive. The food obviously will be wonderful.
Yeah. And we need a reservation for that event. Okay.
Yes, it's reservation only, unless there are some open tables. I think then the public can come up as well.
Okay. That's perfect. I can't wait to celebrate my birthday
with
you on April 6th. That's going to be so much fun. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Doreen. Thank you.
I wish you all the best and luck, and can't wait to run and climb with you next time.
Well, that would be wonderful. May I give the web address?
Absolutely. Yes.
So it is climbforcancerfoundation.org, and we have all the social media platforms. And we hope that people will have an opportunity to learn more about us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Doreen.
Thank you.